advertising means something, and generally people's shutters are up. They're kind of a little bit like, oh, don't shout at me. I think the opportunity now, the way that culture demands these things, the way that technology is around the world, that brands need to engage in conversation. They don't need to shout at people anymore. Nobody likes being shouted at. Brands should think about the ways in which they can engage with people in the right way, in the right moment, born of what the brand believes in. Kind of instead of just having a two-way conversation, brand to consumer, it should be consumer to consumer. Brands need to start to fill those gaps in between the places where consumers hang out and fill those gaps with the right kind of experience. Why are social networks so successful? Because inherently people want to communicate, people want to come together, and they want to have a shared experience. Now, the brand's opportunity these days is to get involved in that experience with people. It doesn't need to speak from a brand to a consumer anymore. Brands need to actually create experiences, help people's lives be better, get involved in that conversation. And instead of it being a brand to consumer, they need to fill the gaps in the world of the consumer. How can they do things that these people can talk about, share, and ultimately how can they make people's lives that little bit easier? Because we've just come out of the last recession, the worst recession in 100 years. We're moving into a time now where technology and culture is really driving forward everything we do. And I think humans and us are kind of evolving and taking a step back and saying, look, what's this all about? I don't mind buying things because that's the nature of commerce, that's the way we are. But if that brand gives me something that's useful, something that I can share, something that I can make better for anybody else, that's really exciting. And I think that's the responsibility of brands. And if they can't do that, I'm sure they could find someone who could help them discover what they can do and how they can do it. And that hopefully is the future. I'm not a hippie, that's the way it should be.